Peace be with you everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Trevor, and in today's video I'm going to do a full review of my scent of the day, and that is Absolute Leather from the house of Jafra. I'm going to take a look at the note breakdown, compare it to a few fragrances in my collection, and try and convey what exactly this smells like as best I can. What type of weather and environmental situations this is going to be good for, and then what type of person this is going to work for. And finally, a out of 10 rating at the end of the video. So to start things off, we get into the note breakdown. So Fragrantica lists Italian citrus in the top, cedar in the mid, and leather in the base. However, if you go to Parfumo.com, you've got pink pepper and citrus in the top, cedar and patchouli in the mid, and then sandalwood and leather in the base. So I'm erring on the side of Parfumo's note breakdown because I pick up a lot of patchouli in this fragrance in the mid. Let's go ahead and start things off with a application just to get a look at the atomizer there. Go ahead and get the other hand and then around the neck. So pretty poor atomizer, all things considered. Cheap plastic cap at the top. Presentation I think looks really nice, even though the cap and the atomizer aren't that well crafted. So go ahead and let this dry down a bit. Not really much of an alcohol blast at the top, despite being a cheap fragrance. So you can pick this up on Amazon and eBay for right around $30. You can't really get this at the normal discounters. I think the House of Jafra is comparable to the House of Avon. So I don't know if they also sell makeup or are just in this sort of cosmetics business model. But you can get these at normal discounters. But that aside, this is a really nice fragrance. I do have quite a nice dent in it already. So it is a guilty pleasure of mine. I have not gotten any compliments on this one, or any positive attention, I guess, really, but I haven't gotten any negative attention either. So 2020 release, pink pepper, citrus, patchouli, cedar, leather, sandalwood. So this is a nice woody but also succulent and rich and a little bit chocolatey from the patchouli. It's got a nice brightness and freshness and versatility because of that pink pepper citrus opening, and then the chocolatey patchouli side of the mid gives it this like richness. And then the leather accord in the base, I think there's a lot of violet in the fragrance that I think, for me, I'm picking up like violet, lavender, musk, and like some amber that are being used to structure the leather accord in the base. So that violet gives it this like succulentness, and then the patchouli gives it this like chocolatey sweetness. And then the sandalwood also kind of gives it this nice, grounded, creamy woodiness. Yeah, so it's super enjoyable. I even fell asleep with this on one night and then woke up the next morning and forgot what I had put on the previous night and was like, wow, this is like really nice. So like I said, a guilty pleasure of mine. It doesn't seem to get me any compliments, but I particularly enjoy it. I don't think I'll be getting a backup bottle or buying it again after this one runs out, however, just because while it is a nice, safe, versatile, cold weather, leather fragrance, I feel like I'm just going to be reaching more for something like Gucci Guilty Absolute or Tom Ford Ombre Leather when I want to wear a leather fragrance. But the upside is that because this is only $30, instead of spending anywhere between $80 and $200 to get those other two leather fragrances, you can pick this up within a budget. So I think this is probably the best budget leather fragrance on the market right now. at least that I've tried or that is in my collection. So yeah, like 30 bucks, really amazing leather fragrance. Like I said, cold weather, this is going to be great for a bright, sunny winter or autumn day. Like I wore it today and it was bright, sunny, the sky was really, had that deep autumn blue, and there was a little bit of snow powdering the ground. Grass was still green and hadn't browned because of the winter, so you had this green and orange and white landscape with a really rich blue sky, and the air was crisp and you could see your breath, and that's really, I think, a picture perfect time for a fragrance like this. Really good for transitioning from the fall into the winter. I would wear this casually during the day, outdoors, at a bar, having guys over for cards, getting together for like a football game. Just like a really nice, casual, versatile, safe leather. Really masculine. Probably any age could pull this off because it does have a certain sweetness and richness to it, but I think this is going to lean more mature. I think this is going to be also, if I had to compare this to something in my collection right now, I think it reminds me the most of this fragrance, Him by Hane More. These two fragrances remind me a lot of one another. This one has a leather accord that it's striving for, whereas this one has like more of like a cinnamon gourmandish facet, but the overall like structure of the fragrance is very similar to me. And then also CH Men Privé, another discontinued fragrance, but it's a sweet leather. This has a boozy accord and is a little bit more sweet and dark, whereas this is more light and versatile. But yeah, so that is a couple of things in my collection that I think you could kind of use to get a sense of how this smells. Somebody who I could see wearing this would be like a bartender. You know, it's like more of a brown leather jacket sort of fragrance than a black leather jacket. Like, it's not really a bad boy fragrance, but it's not a nice guy fragrance. It's kind of like just like a good guy sort of fragrance, like somebody that's responsible. You know, he's probably involved in the church and, you know, is being chaste, even though he's able to go and sow his wild oats kind of thing. Somebody like that who's just really got themselves put together. Somebody like a dad who is a force of stability in both their own lives as well as the lives of people in the community. That's the sort of guy who I could see wearing this fragrance. Just a nice, safe, manly, a little touch of sweetness, rich, versatile, casual. Alright, so if I had to give this a rating out of 10, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's something that I'm going to finish the bottle of, God willing, but it is not something that I'm going to buy another bottle of after this runs out. Like I said, I do have just a couple other leather fragrances that I would rather reach for instead of this. But I think this is more safe than Ombre Leather or Gucci Guilty Absolute, and it is definitely cheaper, so this is an option for a leather fragrance for somebody that is looking for a safe leather or a cheap leather. Something I'm glad that I do have in my collection that I have been able to wear. And, you know, it is pretty synthetic, but all things considered, I think this is a wonderful fragrance. So, yeah, if you're looking for an affordable leather fragrance, this is my #1 pick for that. And my full review of Jafra Absolute Leather. Let me know if you tried anything else from this house. This is the only one that I have tried. Although there are a few of them that do look interesting. Like there's a bamboo fragrance called Yitsu. Has a pretty cool looking bottle. All in all, I think this brand has some pretty decent looking bottles and presentations for being a cheapy brand and like a little bit of an unknown house. So yeah, that is my scent of the day and full review of Absolute Leather by the House of Jafra. Thanks for sticking with me to the end. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.